Hey everyone, welcome to 12/4/2017, Monday. Yes, it's back to Monday. Version of Kick-Ass Coaching, 10-minute Kick-Ass Coaching. We have a couple things to go through today that are related to your business or ideas. So I just wanted to go over a bunch of stuff with you. And I finally figured out where the camera was on this. I see it's right there. So now I know exactly where to look when I need to make a point. Today I'm going to take some things right out of the playbook, which is the Service Without Excuses book. Yes, I've got a bunch of these to send out today, and my apologies to all those that haven't actually gotten it or requested it to either buy it or whatever. I don't technically sell these. I actually give them away as a idea when somebody wants to potentially go into a coaching arrangement or wants to do some consulting business. It kind of narrows down, in a nutshell, what I do, what I'm about, what I hope to bring to an organization or to a person, it's trying to build their company or corporation. In a nutshell, it's sort of like the whole diagram of everything I believe in this book. So it's not very big. It's about 50 pages or less, and took me a long time to write it, and I have the attention span of nothing, so it had to be a small book, something somebody could read in just a couple hours. So that was the key to it. So I'm going to take something out of the playbook today. That's kind of the key. One is called The Power of Assume and how it worked yesterday. If you're an NFL fan, I am, regardless of whether you like him, hate him. All the drama going on within the NFL right now that's really unneeded. But I just look at the game itself. I love the game. Always have loved the game. Always been a diehard Steelers fan. Obviously, we're playing tonight. So I'm a big believer in strategy. It's where I got my first strategy lesson, so to speak. So that's the kind of key to it. The power of assume and how it worked in the NFL yesterday. Well, I had he's now a mentor to me. He doesn't know it, but he is. Somebody used to work for years and years ago, and we always kind of, I had ideas, he had ideas, and we did the old two rams pulling together. And eventually he said, if you think you could do something like this, you should do it yourself. I actually did. But he was a very, very smart man, and he taught me, first time I ever heard it, and some people have heard it and haven't, the power of assume. Assume is an acronym. Means assume makes an ass out of you and me, or assume. Assume makes an ass out of you and me. That means you assume something. So, power of assume. Yesterday we went to the NFL watching these games, and we know in any sport that it can last. Something could be a tremendous upset. It can be whatever it is. That's sports. Sometimes we could predict them. Used to be in the past we could predict these teams. Somebody's going to win no matter what it is. But those days are gone. You just can't predict it. We saw that last year when we saw the Super Bowl and the Patriots pull it back off after Atlanta was beating the pants off of them. So you can't assume anything. You can assume that Tom Brady, with 1 minute left on the clock, will probably score a touchdown. That's what we can assume when it comes to that. Yesterday, Philly versus Seattle. Big upset. Only one loss for Philadelphia. I do believe it's their year. I believe they're going to go all the way. They'll face one of the teams I personally like. But I think it is Philly's year. I just do. I see momentum. I'm a believer in momentum. I've been wrong in the past. I was wrong with Carolina years ago when they played Denver. And you see how that whole thing worked out. I was dead wrong. I thought momentum would beat experience on that particular situation. And they've proved me that experience reigns twice. Denver did it when they had Manning. And now last year when you had Tom Brady and the Patriots. Beating the biggest comeback, in NFL Super Bowl history, without a doubt, coming back to win. So, experience does matter, and I guess that's to the power of the coaching end of it. That coaching or that experience really brought things back into perspective, and they ended up winning, even against a team of tremendous talent, youth, ability. Atlanta was on fire last year, same way Carolina was. So you looked at the losses, the Philly versus Seattle, Jets versus Chiefs, and Saints versus Panthers. Although Saints versus Panthers could have gone either way, equal record going in. Pretty intense game. Jets versus Chiefs. I got a lot of love for Kansas City. I got a lot of friends out there, and I've congratulated them throughout the year as they were going. I felt they were the team going into it initially, and that's football. It changed, and they got beat by the Jets, which shocked the hell out of me, for lack of better words. I thought I was done seeing that until I saw Philly lose to Seattle. Congrats to Seattle. Congrats, Ben. I know you're watching them, going out of your mind when you lost some of the feed yesterday watching the game, but Shocked me, but that's the power of assume. Assume is something that everybody does and tries to think that something is going to go a certain way because it has to, with their record, with their background, with their ability, their knowledge. They have to win. This company has to be successful. This salesperson has to be successful. It's not true. You should be. I have a success mindset. I always have. I was always able to rise up in any company I ever worked for, and it didn't matter what it was because I had the success mindset that that's how it's got to be done, and there is no second place, so to speak. And I did it through hard work and determination, and as Chet Atkins used to say, pig-headed determination. I definitely had that. I definitely have the stubborn, pig-headed determination, no question. So, how systems work in your business? What's the importance of it to it? Well, I'm going to pull a little form I printed up before. This is a form that we have for our technicians when they go out to a house. This form right here is very simple. It's got one section where it completes the whole section. So if it's an inspection, if it's the actual work itself, it's the closeout of the job, pre-inspection on the job, everything's in a section. So all they have to do is check off the section that they did all these things, but they have to do all these things. I don't care about the order in particular. Just give me 1 second here. Let me take care of that. And you just have to check off the one section. Everything is here broken down into every simple part of the process, but this has to be filled out for a completion job. Why did I discover and come up with this idea? I know Andy McCabe has some really good stuff. I actually use some of his stuff too as well. I bought his scoping stuff, and it's pretty incredible. This one I wanted simple. Assume. We're going back to power of assume. That I assume that they would look at all of these and check it. That a section's been done. This is all parts of a job. So we got sick of assuming. We assumed that things were getting done on jobs when we weren't there. Guess what? They weren't. We'd have to go back. One of our managers, owner, myself, whatever the case was, would have to go out there and inspect the job and then find it. And usually that ended up being quite often my job because of just my background and knowing where to look, so to speak. So one of the big tasks that I brought in, I partnered up in the business that I am in the process of selling and will leave completely by the end of the year, except for staying on with some consulting work and things of that nature with John. Love you, brother. You know that. They have now turnkey things that make things work with or without me, with or without him. We have a very good front person, Mike, that generally really hammers at home and knows how to keep things organized. So that's kind of key. But we did this, going back to what I was saying without getting off track too fast, because we assumed things were getting done, and they just weren't. So I finally said one day, I can't deal with this shit anymore. Can't deal with it. It's got to go. Let's come up with a simple form, and I redid that form about 25 times, just because it's easy for me from a technical standpoint to write all these variables and all these things, but let's make it simple. And part of what's on that assume is, if applicable. Does it work? Does it need to be done? However, it still needs to be checked. If we don't need to run extension cords to the house because power is adequate in the room and what we have, then super. We don't need to do that. But still in there saying, make sure you have extension cords, run extension cords to different circuits if you have X amount of equipment on there, because somebody may have a computer, an exercise bike, and those damn toasters on that one circuit. So that can be key to tripping a line, and then we get a call at... it's got to be about 11 p.m. Hey, can you guys come out here and reset my breaker, which takes 2 seconds to reset it, and figure out that if they had checked the circuits and for extension cords first place, that wouldn't have been a problem. So that's how we manage the power of assume. We don't assume. We don't think anybody's going to do it. We have proof. We want it checked off. We want it done. That's key. And that is a system, by the way. If you know anything about me, you listen to me, I am a systems junkie. I love a system of operation. After all these years, 17 years of working in franchise, never owning, but working in franchise locations, and the 12, 13 years now of being an independent business owner twice in two different settings, one from a massive, largest city in America to beautiful Northeast Pennsylvania, which I love you, is two opposites of how you do business. Not that one is better or bad, they're two completely polar differences when it comes to it. One is on now, in demand, really right there, quick response, ton of competition, versus another one where you have to build up a rapport with them, but once you do, they don't go anywhere. They're very loyal, very faithful, as they are here in New York too, don't get me wrong. But they have people hitting them up every single day. And I didn't have to worry about it as much in Pennsylvania, but you do have to worry about there. And how we manage that is we make sure that these things are done in order, so the job is done complete, and we don't have to go back. So, gotta love that. So that's the power of assume. We had to assume yesterday that watching, if you're a Giants fan, you've had a rough year. And, you know, I talked about Eli Manning, and the buck stops there. Obviously, the Giants are 2-10 this year, and as of this morning, Ben McAdoo was terminated, fired. Accountability starts from the top. He tried to put on Eli Manning again, as I said in the original first actual cost itself, 10-minute kick-ass coaching, that Eli Manning was the top. And on the field, he was the top guy, top dog. And he was unfortunately able to get done. He didn't have any players, in my opinion, that had to get done that were active. I'm not a fan of some of the players that really can get it done and act stupid, but that's their right, and if the coach allows that, which he did, it affected the whole team. So Ben McAdoo had to go, and I'm actually pretty happy about it. I didn't think he was very effective there. It's kind of like a New York Knicks story, and Jackson and all that. He wasn't very effective. I don't care what his track record was in the past. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me now? So that's kind of the key to it. Is making sure that you're accountable. If you're the captain of the ship and the ship is going to sink, guess who's responsible? Captain of the ship. If we are playing a show, I'm playing music with the band, we have a band leader. If something goes south with the band, who do we go to? The band leader. Not even if one of the members in the band is not doing something that absolutely has to be done, that is not playing their part, does not know their music, whatever the case is unprepared, no matter who it is, me, Santa Claus, anybody, the band leader is responsible for keeping that in order. So everything is from the top down. And if the top is not making sure it happens, so the middle and bottom can do their part, they need to go. McAdoo had to go. And I think it was a good day for the New York Giants at this point to make that done. And, you know, that's with building an infrastructure. Go back to this form again. An infrastructure to make sure that, you know what, X and X has not been playing his part. It's almost like analytics, which is where everybody's going to, especially in baseball, is not doing his part. I have a record of this day, this employee didn't do this. Not like you're picking on him, it's just things didn't get done. And when you follow a system, you follow structure, you don't assume this works. That's kind of key. So that's today's edition of Kick-Ass Coaching, 10-minute Kick-Ass Coaching for 12/4/2017. Tonight they play. Hoping for another win. I'm very optimistic, but it's football, and anything can happen. So I appreciate your time today. Feel free to comment. Feel free to add. And let me know your thoughts, ideas. I greatly appreciate it. I welcome them. As long as they're constructive ideas, I never mind. And it never bothers me. So feel free to write your own post and put your own thing up here on the Service Without Excuses page, which is exclusive to you guys. It only comes to you. So if you're a member of the site, you get this every day for 10 minutes. Ideas, philosophies, all brought up by you and my coaching clients. But that's how this whole thing started. Coaching clients who asked me a question, and I said, you know what, this is a question that could affect everybody. And at that point, there were a lot of times where I assumed everybody knew everything. Not necessarily. And that's why these forums out there like Restoration Rebel and NORP and some of the other groups that I belong and active into really are a game changer when it comes to this stuff. Andy McCabe with his restoration stuff is a game changer, changing the outlook on things, changing it to where you as a business owner can make a change, can dictate how things are done, and not assume that it's always going to go the other person's way, that it can go your way. Have a great day. Enjoy your Monday. Thank you.